Joy, play, curiosity, fun, those are our natural states. That is the closest to the vibration. Um, that is the state that your soul rests in. And, we all have that little playful child within us, right? Because we all came into the world that way. But for many of us, we have learned over the course of human experience, right, that that is not to be trusted and that we have to earn our joy. We have to make time for play, or maybe even play isn't serious or important. You got the memo, stop playing, get to work. And we shut it down and we disconnected from our own true divine nature. And many of us in this human world, right, what we're really looking for is ways that we can connect back with the magic in life, connect back with our innate sense of joy, sense of discovery, sense of curiosity. We want life to be fun. And in this episode today, I'm going to share a couple of really fun readings that I did a while back for my TV show, Ask Your Guides on Soul Search TV, where our guests were invited by their spirit guides to feel in a little bit more to that energy of joy and play and fun. And so we can see what that does for them. And hopefully, it will also awaken something within you, because that's how it always flows. That's how it always flows. So, with no further ado, welcome to this episode of Intuitive Connection. And let's get the party started with our first reading. Hi, there you are. I was like looking around.
Oh,
So,
thank
so
you.
nice to meet you, Molly. I'm excited. I feel that you're excited too.
I am excited. I don't know how many questions I get to ask you. They're in one question. Okay.
One for this one, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you about my novel, A Break in the Fog. It's
Okay.
been my dream to get it out there, to get it into a streaming network. I actually contacted a client who is pretty well connected, and he wasn't sure. And it feels like doors are closing.
Okay.
Both for my work too. I'm a therapist in private practice, and I'm really, really, really good at what I do. And things seem to be drying up, and I'm trusting. I'm doing a lot of writing and other projects as
Yeah.
well. So, um,
Okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a lot. I mean, that's good. That's a really good background. Okay. So I'm going to hit the therapist thing first, and then you're going to tell me the name of your book again, because a lot
Okay.
wants to come through.
Okay.
And you're just tired. And, sometimes when we're tired, we send out pings. Like your mind may say, I want to be busy. This is my work. I need the money. Like, what's wrong with me? But like ultimately, right now, you're just pooped.
Uh,
And so I just feel like you just kind of don't feel like doing it, which is okay as much. And so, you're giving yourself a break. So I would take it. I do think you're going to want to transition a little bit and maybe change a little bit how you work. You have worked up until now, if I'm reading you correctly. And if it doesn't land, please, feel free to jump in. But it feels like, yeah, you can't, I mean, you're very boundaried. So that's really good. Like you've learned to do that over the years. I'm you've been doing this a long time. So that comes with a lot of experience. But I still feel that even being in that energy of people's problems, especially people's trauma, which I think is a big one for you, it's just getting tiring.
uh,
It just feels like you've kind of come to the end of playing in that particular area and you kind of want to like get out of the valley and to the top of the mountain and like look at the other valley on this other side where it's just like it's not a bunch of sludge and slime that you got to clean up. It's just, like green grass and flowers and little streams. And so it feels like you're wanting to go there.
mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
And the first book that you wrote, it feels to me, I don't know if it's the first book that you wrote, but the novel that you wrote, it feels to me that it was sort of a bearing of your soul, that it got a lot of stuff that had been in there for a long time out. And that it was really a monumentous thing to write, to do, to create. And it was really, I mean, you should feel honored that you did it and that it's done and it's out there. Okay. Now, what your guides would love for you to do, and it's not over yet, but what they would love for you to do, and this is where you're already feeling it, start like doing other projects. Again, it's sort of like if you wrote Schindler's List.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. And now you just want to write feel good. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and I think that's the way to go. I think it'll be good for your soul. I think it'll be good for other souls. I think it'll be good for your energy. And I think at some point, this thing probably will get made into what you want it to get made. But right now, the energy is kind of like mud that's just really dry and it just doesn't want to move.
Hmm.
And I feel that, you know what I mean? Like the image they're giving me, it's like you don't want to plant the seeds in the dry mud. But if you plant them on the mountainside and you have fun there, like who
Uh,
knows if the water might go down and this might start moving again in the right direction. Okay? I mean, that's a pretty profound image and I
yeah.
definitely didn't make that up. Um so does that help? So I think you're being called to kind of follow where things are flowing,
Yeah.
shift your energy. And they see even in your practice, you
Mhm.
may want to go towards modalities and it's not modalities, but
Well, I can tell you where I'm headed in my practice,
yeah,
right?
sure, please.
Is toward the family constellation work, which is all about ancestral healing
Right.
and going very deep with people because you're right, I'm exhausted. I can't chat anymore.
Yeah.
And I need people who are sincerely interested in doing the deeper healing work. That would feed me.
Yeah. Then I would do that. That's exactly what I see is to go towards areas where it just feels fun and fresh and new and exciting. Because when you're excited about something, first of all, excitement is your guide, right? I always say like your soul is here because it got really excited. It's like, oh, I want to go like explore that earth place and have that experience and be that person this time. And it's excitement that brought you here, like it or not,
Mhm.
excitement and curiosity. That's it. And
Yeah.
when we follow that, we're living like our soul. So if something excites you, if something interests you, if you're curious about something,
Yes.
that's
Good.
always the direction to go. And you see like your energy, moves more and have fun with it. I know a lot of healing work is heavy and it feels like it has to be heavy, but it can also be playful, joyful and fun. And I think that you're looking a little bit more at that too. And the other thing that comes up, and I don't know if you do this, but I do feel like bringing some creativity into the work that you do
Oh,
would be
yes.
very helpful. And I see, even with the family constellations, I know that it doesn't involve drawing constellations on paper and then putting flowers next to it. But that's what I see you doing. Like
Uh,
I see like this, like a violet and like different like wildflowers and almost like people kind of transforming, like doing like hands-on things that are fun that kind of help them to transform the pain, transform some things, like just doing things that are a little more playful. So if something like
uh,
that comes to you, I think it'd be good for you too to
hmm
bring some of that play. And again, you can still be serious. You can write about whatever you want, but it feels like the bottom of this particular valley is dry and muddy. And so start just like climbing the mountains a little bit where the wildflowers are and
Okay.
playing there and
Good.
exploring. And remember, everything's connected. So I do feel this might flow again, but
Hmm
now doesn't feel like the time. Now doesn't feel like the time, but I do feel that other projects will kind of get everything moving, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of putting a book of poetry together, which is actually my passion and which brings me a lot of joy. And
Yeah.
lots of poetry is coming out of me right now, and it
Yeah.
is really fun.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
do that with your clients as well?
I used to,
Yeah.
but I have found a way to combine poetry and the constellation work. And so what you're doing is helping me. Oh yeah, I could start a workshop like that. That would be really
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that I
Yeah.
see and things that are fun.
Uh-huh.
Like I can't say that highly enough. It's not that you can't be serious,
Right.
because you really like to be serious, but just more fun, more play, more like relaxation. It doesn't have to be hard. I think
Uh-huh.
that's what'll be really good for
Oh, that
you.
sounds
And
great.
for you too. And you may end up teaching things like poetry or that are like Like some things you're going to use your therapy credential, and other things, like me having credentials and letters after my name, makes me seem respectable somehow. But, like I'm not using that right now. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel that, but I'm always using it. I'm always drawing on it. Like, you
Right.
can't not know what you know. And so that's kind of what I see for you. Just really kind of play with it and be a little more creative in your own life. And anything that you can do with collage or visual art will really, I get what I get. It'll really
Okay.
open your heart.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I definitely see flowers. So I see like
Mhm.
collecting wildflowers and making collages
Hmm.
would be a very nice, freeing, fun tool. And you don't have to do it on paper. You can collect wildflowers and, do it in your backyard just for fun and just make
Mhm.
patterns and designs. It's about
Mhm.
kind of freeing yourself up a little bit just to enjoy and just to create and just to play in an area where there's no presumed competence and no need to establish any.
Mhm.
Okay. Those were words from your guides because I wouldn't phrase it like that.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Have
Yes.
fun. I can't wait to see what you
Yes.
create.
Yeah, the visual piece has always been difficult, so I'm going to have to translate that into something else. But
Okay.
we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
can be kinesthetic too. I just see you creating things that are like not verbal.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay. But you'll play
Mhm.
with it. You
Yes.
you you have free will. You do what feels right to you. And thank you so much, Molly. That was
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Tell me what you want guidance on.
My question, actually, I don't have a like particular question. I just want to know what my guy want to tell me.
Okay.
Um,
All right. So when I tune into your energy, I still get the same read. There's a little bit of a heaviness, there's a little bit of a sadness, there's a little bit of a kind of a low grade exhaustion. And this is what I get when I tune into your energy. But again, my friend, you're in your body. So you know, you get to decide, but it just feels like there's a lot of like, when is this going to be done? When is this going to be done? So it just feels like there's a lot. There's just a lot. Okay. That's kind of what I get. I feel, and again, you can elaborate and tell me if any of this lands. I feel you're probably, let me just tune in to make sure I'm getting this from the guides. They're not telling me anything. Oh, but there is somebody there for you. Interesting. Is there someone in your family or an ancestor, male, thin, who might have been in a war?
I never met my grandfather.
Okay. Was he in a war?
He was I'm not sure he's in the war. I think he's a cop.
This feels like it feels like someone who grew up in a rural environment and worked very hard. And the reason I think a war, maybe it's just that I see someone who's one of his legs has it's not either not formed right or it got injured, but like something's wrong with one of his legs or it's shorter than the other. So I don't know if that could be your grandfather. Did he grow up in a rural situation? Okay, then it's not your grandfather. And what about, are you married? Okay. Is your husband also of East Asian descent?
No.
Okay, then it's not from his side of the family because this person is definitely of that culture. Very interesting. Do you want to tell me anything? Is this her in a past life? It doesn't feel like it. Okay, he says, suffice to say, I can be a guide. We're going to leave it at that. And I do think it's from your family line, maybe going further back than you know. It's definitely not in this country. that he lived. I don't think he ever lived in the United States. I mean, in this particular incarnation, and he's just a very thin man, and he's either missing a leg or he has a leg brace or he's limping, like something's wrong with one of his legs. And he's telling me that his life was it was very difficult. But because he made the sacrifices and did the things that he needed to do, which he said we all did, it was just that period of time, it allowed you to have the freedom that you have now. Okay. So like living here, having the job that you have, like you have comparative freedom compared to some of your older ancestors. Okay. Where their life was, they say, very prescribed. I had to kind of do these things. And he's telling me it's definitely a veteran because he's saying, like, fighting was like the only way out. It was the only way out. Like you had to go do that. And then if you did that well and you came back, then you know what I mean? Like you'd get the girl or the this or the that or the reward. And so it was like the only option was to become part of the army, or and it doesn't feel like an organized army. It feels more like almost like a militia, so a little bit like police. But it was just the only way to go. Okay. And I think it's a pretty deep ancestor. It goes way back. But what he's here to tell you is that the other thing he's telling me is that, we did have a lot of fun. We did know how to have fun. The war part wasn't that great, and the leg hurt like crazy for the whole rest of his life. So that was really challenging, but he did come back and get the girl. So that was really good. And he said she was very beautiful and very kind. And she would like rub my leg for me when it hurt. And she had beautiful hands. But what you guys are saying and why this particular energy is coming through is because you're really being invited not to define your life by hardship so much anymore. I feel that you're a hard worker. I feel that you take on a lot. I feel that you don't even always know, like, this is my read. And again, I want to respect you, but I think sometimes you don't even kind of know how overwhelmed you are, how hard things are, because you've just been taught to just keep going, to just like, this is just life. This is just life. This is just what we do. And he's like, that's how it was for me too. But he's like, you're in a space where you have freedom more to listen to your heart. Okay. And he says it's on the backs of your ancestors that you have discovered and gained this freedom. Okay. And so he really wants you to remember that. And he says, I really want her to know that she can exercise that freedom just a little bit more, that life doesn't have to be so hard, that she can do more things that are fun, that you can put down the responsibilities sometimes and play. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes
Okay.
sense. Because
And
I always have lots of things in my court. I
yeah.
just I even looking for things to put in my court. I make myself super super busy, and then I just somehow always pile up.
Yeah. But it feels that you do this because you feel like we felt that, and you've been taught this too. This is like a big thing. It's like, if you're not busy, then you don't have enough to do. You know what I mean? Like if you're not working, then find something to do. It feels like it's very much a program running in your space. But he's saying that many of us that, did this work in your generational lineage, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we forgot is what we are doing it for. Okay. We're always doing it for the next generation. So they have a better life and they have a better this. But what we forgot is when is the next generation that gets to enjoy the fruits of our labors? And he's like, I want that to be you. I
Mm-hmm.
want that to be you. I want that to be your children. Right. And it's not that you can't be busy because you want to be busy. If you want to do things, if they excite you, but sometimes your guides are saying that you make life harder for yourself than it needs to be, and that you push yourself harder than you need to, and that I feel a lot of exhaustion and a lot of overwhelm, and it's almost like that makes you push yourself more. Okay. And I feel that in the long run, if you don't shift, you're going to become really exhausted.
Okay.
Okay. And you're going to get, the more overwhelmed you get, the less, the more like, I'm going to say this in a loving way because you seem lovely, but you get like, do you have kids?
Yes.
Yeah. You get sort of like less patient with your kids
Mm-hmm.
and more pushing with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so they deserve a mom that can show them to have the softness within you so that you can also allow them and teach them to play. Because he says, you're the generation that my generation and the generations after worked for so that you could have freedom. And it's time to start experiencing that. Does that make sense? And I don't know if it's, I mean, it can't be your grandfather because it seems like you know his history and his story. Um, but he's referring to them like grandkids, so through that lineage or through that generation, he's telling me that he spends time with them and that they're beautiful. And he's like, they're such special kids. Just make sure that you make space to let them play. Right? Make space for yourself to play and give space for them to play. It's the
Mm-hmm.
greatest gift that he said you can give them. And it's just time. I know I keep saying the same thing over again, but that's because he does. He's like, your generation is, it's your time to play. Please, please, please. He's like, each level of achievement
Mm-hmm.
took us further away from the joy. Right? We kept saying, I'm going to sacrifice for the next generation. And he's like, I had some fun. I mean, it was crazy. The thing that blew off his leg was not so fun, but he had a lot of fun. There was like a lot of joy. There was a lot of things. And he's like, if I knew that I was doing all this work for her to push herself so hard, it kind of hurts his heart. It would have broken my human heart. So he just really wants you to be free. Okay.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
know I said the same thing like 6 times, but
Yeah.
I hope it
It totally
landed.
makes sense. Yeah, totally makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm gonna get his name wrong. Oh my gosh. I can hear it, but I can't say it. It's like two syllables. Or something like that. I'm not getting it 100% right. So hopefully you can hear it. I'm terrible with the phonetics, but it's two letters, and one of them is like you inhale on an H, and then the other you exhale.
Uh,
Okay.
Akong?
Yes, exactly. Ooh, I got a tingle. You heard it. Ooh, all over tingles. You got it exactly. He says that's his name. And he just wants you to know he loves you very much. He's watching over your family. He thinks you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Akong meaning a grandfather.
Okay, there you go. Like I could hear it and I could feel how you pronounce it, but my dyslexic brain, like I never get that's amazing. Yes, you heard it exactly. And he just wants you to know he's around you and he loves you. And he says, please make time for joy.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Sending
Thank
you
you
so
very
much
much.
love, Connie. Thank you. That was a very fun reading.
Yes. Mhm.
So I hope you enjoyed that one as much as I did. It is always such an honor and a gift for me to get to tune in to the guides, to my clients' guides, and be that conduit or channel for all of us, those people that got the readings on the show, and all of you listeners here today to help us all connect with our own inner guidance and our own inner wisdom, because we all got it inside of us. And for those of you listening today, I think your takeaway from this episode, and again, you're going to know what that is for you, but one takeaway, and I'm going to tune into your guides so I get this right. Look where you can find a little bit more curiosity, joy, and play in your life. Where can you put down that mantle of adult responsibility? That idea that you have to be busy, busy, busy all the time, or that life can't be fun, or that, you have to support people only with the hard stuff because only the hard stuff is where, we're going to make progress. And start to free yourself up instead to flow with what brings you joy. To flow with what brings you joy more and more, to invite that into your space, not, the guides say, as an earned reward, but as your birthright, because it is your birthright. And you can bring more joy and play and curiosity to yourself at any moment and any day just by agreeing to take yourself and life a little less seriously Tune into your higher guidance, your intuition, your inner child, and let them all be one bundle of yumminess, right? And just flow with where your joy wants to take you next. All right. I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did. If you would like a reading with me, I do that for clients all over the world. And you can find out more information about that on my website, which is victoriashawintuitive.com. That's Victoria Shaw, SHAW, at intuitive, victoriashawintuitive.com. You guys are going to get it. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Love you all, and namaste.